Welcome, Warriors. I am Travis Lockyer, and I am here with our school board member, Rob George, and talking a little bit about next year and the transition in leadership. And we wanted to talk to you a little bit about the decision that was made and things to look ahead to for next fall. So, Rob.
Well, thank you, Travis. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you for being willing to take on the role as the sole head of school here at Annapolis. I wanted to give a little bit of a background about how the board arrived at the decision to make you the offer and to elevate you to the position. So the board has known for a while and had plenty of time to deliberate and to pray over the decision about who would be the next head of school as Mr. Hensley and his family are departing. We, of course, are grateful for the time of service that they gave to the school. We're grateful for all the effort that they put forward. We wish them the best. We look forward to seeing their success in the future. But that also left us with an opportunity here at the school to move into a singular head. And so the board prayed about it. We deliberated over it. And we came to the decision that Travis should be the sole head of school. And part of that decision-making process included an evaluation of not only Mr. Lockyer's time here on campus as grammar principal and then as co-head of school, but also his history in education. He has been a high school teacher. He's been the head of school improvement committees that involve all levels of school. So he's had exposure from pre-K all the way through 12th grade. He also has been the director of a special education program, which also involves students from grammar all the way through high school. So Mr. Lockyer has an intense background at all ages of school administration. He's managed school buildings that have hundreds of more kids than we have here in our entire enrollment and more faculty. So he's taken on bigger roles, and then he had the opportunity to come here and really show us as a school board and us as Annapolis families his ability to lead the grammar school first as principal, and then for the last year, his ability to lead the school as a whole as a co-head of school. So the school board here was very excited to give Mr. Lockyer the opportunity to step into the role as the singular head of school, and then we were thrilled when he accepted the offer to do so. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about what Mr. Lockyer is envisioning for the school going into the future, and we're going to do a little bit of a question and answer session here. So thank you again for taking time to watch this video. Mr. Lockyer, what are some of the things you're looking forward to going forward in the school?
Well, I think one of the big things that I'm looking forward to is actually bringing more unity to the school. We have a very distinct grammar, logic, and rhetoric stages, and they've naturally kind of fallen along those lines. I believe that having one head of school who also acts as the role of principal, I'll be, in a sense, essentially being the grammar and logic and rhetoric principal, it creates the continuity, I think, that we're looking for, that as we move kids through our system, they'll be able to see the fruit of what each stage offers to them. So that's one big thing. The second thing is I'm really excited to work with the high school teachers, but really, really excited about the students. As you mentioned, I have an experience working with high school students, and I've been so impressed with what I've seen. They bring so much to the table, their creativity, their ingenuity. I'm just really excited about spending more time with them, learning about them, and seeing them flourish and blossom.
I think that brings up a great point. One of the things that having a sole head of school and someone for the time will be also acting as principal is you're going to get the opportunity to interact with kids all the way from pre-K through 12th grade, and you'll get to really watch how we model and build our children here at the school, primarily focused on their spiritual development and their character development in addition to academics. You get to see that full spectrum growing all the way through the portrait of a graduate that we have. So you get to see how each of the pieces, the grammar, the logic, and the rhetoric pieces all build towards our portrait of a graduate walking out the door at 12th grade.
Right. The thing that we really want to stress, and we talk about this with the teachers, is that having students that are college and career ready is an okay goal, but it's actually too small of a goal for us. We have a much bigger goal for our students. We don't just want them to be a name, a title, a job, fulfilling a performance evaluation. We want them to be much more. As image bearers of Christ, image bearers of God, God has called us to be so much more. And so we at this school have the ability to take them beyond just looking at the small goals of life, but a much broader goal that God has for them, to make them the best version of themselves, to flourish here, to love God, to love their neighbors in a way that really serves God to his glory.
So we've been going through this time at home where we haven't been on campus. What are you anticipating for the fall, and what are you looking forward to this fall?
Well, it's full steam ahead. We are going to open the doors in August, Lord willing. Granted, we will follow all the orders of the governor and the judge and whoever else we got to listen to, but we will. Our plan is to open those doors, Lord willing. The new high school is on track too with construction. We'll be looking at opening that up. Hopefully this fall too. There's been a few snags with construction, but they are working feverishly. So that is definitely something we are looking forward to and working towards. And again, as my role, primarily as principal, I'll be working with the teachers. We'll be spending a lot of time with professional development. Mm-hmm. We want to grow and develop teachers here. Not only do we want students to flourish, we want teachers to flourish too. And I think that in some ways I'm uniquely qualified to help move teachers from where they're at to grow and get better, mm-hmm. and to serve our community, serve our families, and serve our students better. So I'm excited about the opportunity to work with our staff in that way.
So I know one of the things that you had expressed as something as part of your consideration in taking the role as the singular head of school were some of the things that you may have to give up that have been a passionate part of your life in the school so far. So what are some of those things that you see yourself transitioning out of as you transition into the role as the sole head of school?
Right. As much as I'd like to say yes to everything, my wife said you need to start saying no to some things. So my goal is to invest in the school, in this role, which means that some of the extra stuff I was doing I have to say no to. The big one is the grammar and junior high basketball program. Love the kids, love the program, but it was just something that looking ahead is just something I'm going to have to give up. Have a great person in line. Coach Hayden Wickbore will be stepping in. He was with me all last year. Mm-hmm. He'll be a wonderful replacement, and will probably take the program to new levels just because of his enthusiasm and excitement and his expertise with it. So everyone's in good hands, and I'll be in the stand as one of the biggest fans. And so, but knowing that there's going to be a focus on the things that need to happen here at school, I'm going to have to give up a few things.
So what are some of the things that you look forward to focusing on as the singular head of school who's also filling the roles of principals of both Grammar and Solar?
So I mentioned the professional development of teachers, but also been focused on student culture, and we've been doing that in Grammar through morning time and other things, but wanted to expand that and work with the house system and the logic and rhetoric. They have a wonderful system in place, a good foundation. I think that we could grow it and make it even better, so we'll be looking at that. And then also just looking at some of our curriculum offerings even in the high school. Math and science particularly will be two areas that we'll be addressing and looking at, and we have wonderful, devoted, dedicated teachers, but I think there's ways that we can offer even more excellence in those areas. So those will be things to be looking ahead to as we'll be kind of rolling out some new announcements that go along with that.
Well, thank you for being willing to take on the role as the sole head of school. We're excited to see, as an Annapolis family and as a school board member, we're excited to see how it all rolls out. We have the utmost confidence that God has called you for this time, for this position, to be the leader of our school. So thank you for saying yes.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity, and my heart is here to serve the students and the families of Annapolis. So I will do that. What little I have to offer, I offer willingly, and excited about next year.
Well, thank you, Warrior families, for taking time to watch this video. We look forward to seeing you all back on campus in the fall.